Human beings oftentimes think that we are completely unique. No other animal fights like Mike Tyson, flies in flying machines, builds civilizations like we do, or even builds weapons capable of ending the world. Human beings are actually not completely unique. Animals like chimpanzees and bonobos share 98% of our genome and oftentimes work in very similar ways that we do. We will be starting off with chimpanzees' social structure, then we'll move on to their intelligence and their proclivity toward violence. Peeling open the banana that chimpanzees call a social structure, we will see that chimpanzees work very much like we do. Chimpanzees gather in groups of 20 to 30, but troops as big as 200 members have been reported. Chimpanzees will establish lifelong bonds with their mothers, and when their mothers die, sometimes if they're young enough, other chimpanzees from the community will raise them. Gestation is very similar to human beings in that it's 8 months, and female chimpanzees will travel to other groups nearby to breed, and will come back to raise their children. Groups are led by an alpha male, which is oftentimes the strongest of the chimpanzees or the one with the most social connections. Moving towards the evolutionary tree that chimpanzees possess will bring us to their brain. Chimpanzees are very intelligent compared to other animals of the world. They use language, and their language consists of mostly body language and hoots, calls, and howls. Different body language warrants different emotions. So, like a chimp that is excited will oftentimes like swing their arms or jump around while making excited noises. They can communicate long distances by banging sticks on trees, and in captivity, they have even been able to mimic like sign language. Chimpanzees also utilize tools to interact with the world, which is very like early human-like in like a Stone Age. So chimpanzees have been reported using vines, branches, and leaves to fish ant holes for specific ants. They have been shown to use rocks and other hard objects to break open nuts, and have even been shown using like sponges made of leaves to gather water from trees. Swinging towards the violent nature of chimps, chimpanzees are very violent. Much like their human counterparts, chimpanzees wage war, and wars consist of war bands, which is usually like at least six chimps going after one individual chimpanzee when they're foraging. This strategy means that like the chimps will oftentimes never even suffer like even a scratch while being able to like kill their rival chimp. Chimpanzees wage war for many different reasons, including territorial disputes, just disagreements, which leads us to the Gombe chimp like civil war. So the Gombe chimps were a group of chimps initially led by a chimp that each side preferred, but when he died, a new chimp named Humphrey was elected as alpha male, and this chimp was very controversial. Two chimps named Hugh and Charlie disagreed with his decision, so they decided to bring their group into a different part of the jungle, and they pretty much just lived like a different group for a few years before Humphrey decided that he didn't like this, so he got a few chimps together, and they went and killed a member named, I don't remember the one that they killed, but they led led some chimps named Satan, and like I think Humphrey was also there, and they killed this chimp. So they do this for the next 4 years, killing like every single chimp of the other tribe except for like 3 females. So the remainder of the chimps were either enslaved and brought back into the group or just killed. So uh, the chimp violence usually isn't actually in like every single group of chimps. It's usually only in the Ngogo and the Gombe like regions. So scientists think that this is more a result of their culture instead of like just chimpanzee genetics. Um, they brutally, like absolutely brutally kill other chimps and even like smaller monkeys like for food. So they're not really a really kind animal that many people often think that chimps are. Those are usually more like bonobos. So getting out of the jungle, we have peeled open a banana with the families. We have climbed a tree with their brain, and we've swung towards a civil war of violent chimps. Thank you, everyone, for coming on the journey, and I hope you learned something about chimps.